Local 4 News starts now with a breaking news alert.
An active and confusing scene right now in Lyon Township. A small plane has crashed into a home. These are live pictures. Multiple agencies are on the scene investigating. This is viewer video that we've just received. You can see a massive amount of smoke in the air. That crash setting a house on fire, causing that home to become engulfed in flames. Oakland County Sheriff Mike Bouchard now confirming that everyone inside the home was able to get out. However, there is a tarp on the plane, and the pilot is believed to be still inside. That crash happened right around 4 p.m. on Russet Lane. That's between Pontiac Trail and Grand River, and you can see just how close that neighborhood is to the New Hudson Airport, although it's still unclear whether the plane was headed to that airport. Larry Spruill is live on the scene now. And Larry, I know you spoke to the family who was inside that home when the plane crashed.
Yeah, Stephen, now we are in the front of that home of a very large and active scene. Multiple agencies are out here right now. Oakland County Sheriff's Office, Lions Fire Township. Now, the home that is in question is that home right there that my photographer Joel is pointing at. Now, you can see the home was engulfed fully in flames. Now, we have video of the back of the home where you can see most of that damage. A plane, debris all over the ground. A blue tarp is covering that plane as well. We believe, we are hearing that there may be a fatality. That has not been confirmed just yet. But I did speak with the family who lives inside that home. It's a family of 5, a mother, a father, and 3 of their kids. She tells me that off camera that they were inside that home in the living room in the front portion of the house. Actually, they were arguing over what movie to watch when all of a sudden they moved to the family room, and that's when that crash happened. She says it all happened within seconds. If they would have stayed in that family room, in that living room, arguing over that what movie to watch, they would have been a different story. She tells me everyone made it outside of the home, but they did lose their cat. Their cat did perish inside of that home. Now, we are working, our sources, I've been in contact with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office. We are told that a captain is here on scene. We will be hearing from her shortly. But once again, a plane crashed in the back of this home here in Lyons Township. There is a blue tarp over that plane, so we believe that there was a fatality. But we did hear from neighbors about what happened just moments and after that plane crash. Take a listen.
Then I walked behind here and saw there was actually a plane, which has always been my biggest fear of living in this neighborhood, because planes are always going over and there's an airport about half a mile that way.
If it had just gone like a little bit farther, like I've got 2 siblings who are under 2 years old, and they were upstairs sleeping, they were taking naps, so it's just like you worry, like, could this happen to us, because these planes fly low over here all the time.
Yes, some terror and horrific details of what these neighbors experienced just earlier this afternoon. But like once again, as I told you, a plane crashed in the back of that home. The family inside, family of 5, they did make it out alive. Now, we are waiting to hear from the Oakland County Sheriff's Deputy. Once again, we're told a captain is here on scene to tell us information exactly what happened. I'll have another live report coming up later on in this newscast. We are live in Lyons Township tonight. Larry Spruill, Local 4.
How frightening for that family. All right, Larry, we'll check back with you for an update in a few minutes. Let's get a peek at the weather. We had a little snow and freezing rain to start the day, and now Andrew's tracking some more snow moving in. Andrew?
Steve, thank you very much, and you're exactly right. Happy New Year, everyone. The first Saturday of 2021. Looks like we've got some snow to deal with before the weekend is over. Fortunately, though, no snow falling right now. That being said, still mighty chilly out there with low and mid 30s across the region. 32 degrees in Pontiac, 31 in Howell. In those spots, like in Lapeer, also at 32, be careful because there might still be some slippery spots on the roads. Otherwise, temperatures are in the middle 30s at Metro Airport and across the rest of southeast Michigan. 34 right now at Metro, but it feels like it's in the 20s, so bundle up if you're still headed out this evening. No snow to talk about now, but down to our south and west, we've got snow that is brewing and some rain as well. You got an area of circulation down towards St. Louis and right around western Kentucky, western portions of Tennessee. That is all going to move in our direction as we go through the rest of the evening and later on tonight. But the first flakes and some of the first raindrops, some people may see a rain-snow mix, that does not arrive until later tonight, until we get closer to around midnight and afterward. As we go through this evening, it continues to be dry but cloudy. You see some of the first snowflakes and raindrops occur generally when many folks are asleep. When you join us tonight at 11, it'll be right on our doorstep, but by 2 a.m. and afterward, that's when some of the snowflakes and raindrops arrive. Everything is going to be on the light side. In terms of snow accumulations, you're talking about 1 to 2 inches by the time Sunday is over. But where will that 1 to 2 inches be? I'll break that down for you neighborhood by neighborhood in minutes.
Today, the state reports new coronavirus numbers from the past 3 days. There have been 8,983 new cases and 265 deaths over the 3-day period. That's a daily average of 2,994 cases. Since the start of the pandemic, Michigan has now reported more than 497,000 cases of the virus. A 4-year-old girl is killed in a crash, and tonight investigators believe alcohol is to blame. It happened last night around 11 p.m. on US 23, just south of Highland Road in Livingston County. Deputies say the girl's 33-year-old father was driving, lost control, and that sent the SUV off-road and slamming into some trees. His wife was also in the car. They survived. They're in the hospital, but the little girl was ejected from the SUV. She died at the scene. Deputies believe both speed and alcohol were factors in the crash. A showdown is brewing in the U.S. Senate over next week's Electoral College certification. NBC News now reporting that a dozen Republican senators and senators-elect are demanding a commission to audit the results of the presidential election. The group of senators says if the 10-day audit isn't granted, they will object to the Electoral College votes declaring President-elect Joe Biden the winner. This comes as a group of Michigan Republicans are joining yet another new lawsuit to overturn the election results. Grant Herms has the latest.
While the lawsuit was put to rest, what seemingly will survive is the spread of the false idea that there was rampant fraud or wrongdoing in this election, which was one of the most secure in history.
Michigan Republicans joining the last-ditch effort to overturn the election. A group of activists calling themselves electors for President Trump signing on to a now-dismissed lawsuit in Texas suing the vice president, hoping to force Pence to count their unofficial votes for President Trump. Among the activists are Marion Sheridan, a top official with the Michigan GOP, Michelle Lundgren, a former congressional candidate for the Independent Party, and Meshawn Maddock, a prominent Trump campaign worker here in Michigan and wife of Milford Representative Matt Maddock. On Twitter, Maddock vowing to bring 12 buses of protesters to Washington to rally against certifying the election on Wednesday. Inside the Capitol that same day, nearly 140 Republicans from the so-called Kraken Caucus are expected to object in vain to the election results. Not a single member of that caucus from Michigan responded to questions about how they would vote. Only Congresswoman-elect Lisa McClain said in a statement she had grave concerns about the 2020 election, adding, "The American people need to have confidence in our electoral system, and I will examine the facts to help ensure that is the case." This week, Democratic Senator Gary Peters called the objections to the results deliberate attempts to undermine trust in American elections.
When you undermine trust in a democracy, this is an incredibly dangerous stunt that they are performing, and one that should be called out.
Outcry from both sides in one of the most contentious elections in American history. In Detroit, Grant Herms, Local 4.
Still ahead, a dramatic rescue in the ocean. A professional surfer saved the life of a swimmer who got swept away by waves. And a wild scene on the rooftop of a luxury hotel involving 2 base jumpers. The video that's now under police investigation. And we continue to follow breaking news in Lyon Township. A small plane crashed into a house on Russet Lane at about 4 this afternoon. Emergency crews have placed a tarp over the plane, but everyone inside the home made it out safely. We'll get another live report and update from the scene right after the break.